Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today is just a little mixed bag of the miscellaneous odds and ends. We're going to talk about just some things I saw in comments and on some YouTube channels in the last couple of days that I wanted to comment on. Just some quick questions. I guess you'd call it a quick question and answer period. Just out getting a little morning walk in. I've got to get my grass cut today, so I'm not going to walk super far. But I did want to get out here and get some walking in. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You might be asking yourself, Bob, what in the world are we watching here? Well, basically, you're watching me walk. That doesn't seem like a whole lot until, you think about the fact that a little over a year ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes at a time without severe pain. Now I'm either walking, I'm doing something every day, whether it be walking or going over to the Y to walk in chest deep water in the pool for a workout, or working out on the cable machine, or doing simple push-ups, and I won't say pull-ups, they're wall pull-ups. I can't do a pull-up yet, but just basic strengthening things at home. And of course I'm doing all my own yard work. The primary purpose of this channel is to show people that it's never too late to change your life. I started this the day before my 59th birthday, and now I'm 60 years old, coming up on 13 months of doing this. I feel fantastic after 40 years of bad health. So it's never too late to change your life. If you want to see a really good example of all that, you can go back and watch some of my earlier walking videos. This hill I'm walking up right now, to get up here to the stop sign at the top of the hill, I couldn't carry on a conversation even with stopping 3 or 4 times coming up this hill. Probably going to go all the way to the top. There's going to be a little noise because one of my neighbors up here at the top of the hill is out cutting his grass. But that's just the way it is on a Monday morning in Omaha, Nebraska. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I can't say thank you enough to all of my people that have subscribed to the channel, left comments down below, even if the comment is just "Hi Bob." It really does help things out. And stick around to the end of the video today. One of my subscribers, Jamie, sent me, I showed one thing in the live stream on Friday, but while I was at work Saturday night, Amazon delivered a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all that stuff at the end. And I've got a little, I won't even call it a cooking video. I took just a couple of quick clips of what I was cooking. I don't even remember what day it was. I think it was Saturday before I went to work, but I won't swear to that. But anyway, let's get into a couple of these things. First, I want to clarify, everybody saw my interview with Chris Bear from Keto Chow, and if you haven't, you should go back and watch it. They've done some sidewalk work up here. Yeah, the base electrolytes, and I've always said that my best supplement is beef. But depending on where you're sourcing your beef, you may or may not be deficient in something. I was obviously deficient in something. I have no idea what it was. Everybody else was talking about how the cravings went away. they never went away from me until I started adding a dose of daily minerals. So I suspect that was one of the minerals that I was deficient in. I have no idea what it was. I can tell you I feel fine now. I feel great. I've always felt pretty good since I started this way diet, eating. But the cravings are gone. But just remember, excuse me, just remember everybody's different. You know, when it comes to what minerals you need or may not need to supplement, what electrolytes you need or may not need to supplement. It's one of those things we have to play around with, and I thought Chris did a very good job of explaining that. But I felt I needed to come back and reinforce that point, that everybody's need or not need for electrolytes is different. You know, it depends on a lot of different stuff. One of the other quick little topics I wanted to talk about was I saw one of the questions come up in a great bunch of people. But they took a question from somebody who was asking about turmeric. And I thought something about all this just doesn't sound right. I've heard something about this somewhere. So I got out there and started doing research on the internet. Of course, 99%, good morning. 99% of what I found was the regurgitation of all those articles that were telling us how good turmeric is for our joints. And, you know, there was a very good medicinal spice to be putting on our foods. And I'm like, man, I know I've heard something about this somewhere. So I kept digging. Finally, I pulled out my chart from, I knew I'd seen it. Pulled out my chart that I got from Sally Norton and her book, Toxic Superfoods. Guess what spice is at the top of the list for high oxalate spices? Well, it wasn't at the very top, but it was in the top section. Turmeric. So, if you're going to add turmeric to your food, you know, that's an individual choice. I'm not going to tell you to use turmeric or don't use turmeric. But I am going to say, especially if you're oxalate sensitive, be very careful. Now, the main thing I wanted to talk about today was perceptions, because this same live chat of people, they got a question from somebody, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but my family's accused me of being gaunt. How do I stop? How do I stay on this way of eating but stop losing weight? Well, first let me say that this is not a weight loss diet. This is a health optimization diet. So just keep eating the way you've been eating, and your body will normalize itself. What's normal? I don't know. What's normal for you is not normal for me. We don't get to decide that. Our bodies will decide that. You know, our DNA and everything will all combine and take care of, you know, where we're supposed to be. Our body knows what its optimal weight is, what its optimal composition is. So if you just stick to it and trust that the DNA that has allowed us to survive since time began, it'll take care of what you're doing. But the main point of this is how much perception has changed. And I've talked about this a lot on the channel, but I felt we needed to go over it again because we're always getting new people. The perception, and this is just on my N=1 experiment. I have many people tell me how great I look. And I think I do look pretty good. Not bad for an old man. But, and yes, I am thinner now than when I was in the Army. I am roughly 20 pounds lighter than I was when I went in the Army. Take a look at just do a Google search for Beaches 1970, or whatever your favorite search engine is, and then do a search for Beaches 2020, 2022. Don't do 2020, weren't any beaches open in 2020. But do a search for Beaches 2022 and just take a look at the photos. Back in the 70s, 60s and 70s, you had to search really long and hard to find an obviously overweight person. Now, you have to search through the pictures to find somebody that looks like they are normal height and weight. And the whole point I was getting at is, when I was in the Army, which was just 20 pounds heavier than I am now, my nickname, not only in basic training, but when I got to my unit, basically through my entire Army career, everybody called me Heavy. Hey, Heavy, how you doing today? Why is that? Because I was the biggest guy in the unit for height, weight. I was certainly not the tallest, but for height, weight proportion, I was obviously the heaviest guy in the unit. And today, everybody's telling me how thin and good I look. That's how the perceptions have changed over the last 40 years and how insidious it can be. So you may be accused of looking gaunt or too thin by people that don't know any better. But trust me, if you're eating the muscle meat of large ruminant animals and the associated fat in proper amounts, you are not going to get too thin or gaunt. Your body will regulate you to the exact height weight proportion you should be. And then if you lift heavy things, you'll put on muscle. But yeah, that's what I've got for you today, folks. Stick around. There'll be a couple little blurbs here at the end of this, but in case you don't want to stick around and watch the more personal stuff, like me opening Amazon packages, don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, I've got some Amazon stuff to show you. All of this was sent in by Jamie. Thank you so much, Jamie. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. It's a silicone baking pan, so I can make big butter bites or muffins or I'm going to try lots of different things with that pan. It was on my wish list. And I got Dr. Barry's book that he wrote with Zane Griggs, Kicking Ass After 50. I got an Ohio State hat. How awesome is that? That's just great. And off of my wish list, I also got a bow rake. So I now have a rake to use when I get down to Texas. That's going in my bin of tools that I need for Texas. And then this last thing, wait till you guys see this. This is amazing. Okay, now this is amazing. Look at this. A proper, I'm a YouTuber cutting my meat knife. Look at this thing. That's a monster. Now I gotta find a big steak to get out of the freezer or something to cook up today so I can cut something with that knife and show it to you on video. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. My goodness, all this stuff off my Amazon wish list. Absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much, Jamie. And there it is. Doesn't that look wonderful? This is going to be so good. Just eggs with a little bit of stew meat on top of it. And this is going to be my meal today. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.